I've spent the last week working on search and image navigation. Now, both of these are linked to changes in Gwulo since our last upgrade back in 2014. Well, first off, the site's much bigger. We finished 2014 with about 18,000 pages, but at the end of last year we had over 47,000, which is well more than double. And having more information is a good thing, but it can also make it harder to find what you're looking for. The other change is the continued growth in the use of mobile devices. So currently, around 1/3 of pages viewed on Gwulo are seen on a mobile phone or a tablet. The goal then is to make it easier to find our way around the site and also make the site easier to use from a tablet or a mobile phone. Search first then. Let's try a search for DC3 on the current site. I type in DC3, hit enter, and as expected, we get several results with DC3 in the text. Over on the new site, similar, type in DC3. Now we can hit enter here, but we do also have the little option of a button on the right. That was some feedback from IDJ that a mobile user expects to be able to tap a button. Perhaps they wouldn't be looking at their mobile phone keypad to find an enter key. Here are our search results, but with a few changes. First of all, if the result is a picture, we show a thumbnail. That's a feature that Phil was asking for. Just give you an idea what you're looking at. Also, the list of results is broader. So for example, it includes tags. If I'm looking for something about DC3 and there's a tag with DC3 in the text, that's usually a pretty good lead to related pages. It works for user profiles as well now. So on the new site, if perhaps someone had written in and their parent flew DC3s, then that user profile would turn up in the results here as well. Let's try another search. This time we're going to look for pages that are related to the trams. Now, you've probably noticed this yourself. The current site search is very literal. So if I type in TRAM tram, that's all it's going to look for. If I come up here again and type in TRAMS, I get a different set of results. So it's a very exact match. Over on the new site, we take a broader approach. So if I type for tram, I get these results. If I now type trams with an S, I get exactly the same results. The trade-off, well, there is a trade-off always. The new site doesn't allow that type of literal search. Even if I put quotes around here, I still get the same set of results. And I think that will be irritating sometimes, but overall, I think it's going to be a much more useful approach. Now, the other thing that's good about the new site, well, let's check the old one first. The old one, sure, it shows pages that have trams in the text, but it doesn't have any feeling for sort of what's more relevant to you. So if you look at the results that it's showing here, yes, they mention trams, but they're not really pages about trams. If we look on the new page over here, it does a much better job of bringing the pages about trams up to the top of the list. It's not perfect. If I was looking for trams and I wasn't really interested in peak trams, you can see several of those have slipped into the results here. We do have an option to fix that though. If I type minus and then peak, it's going to update the search to take away anything that has a peak in its results. So that's a good match now for people who are just interested in old trams down at sea level. With that search, let's go and have a look now at photos and what's changed there. So this is a photo from Mike and it's in his gallery of 1950s Hong Kong Airways. If you come to this page, well, there's a good chance if you've been searching for Hong Kong Airways, you'd like to see more photos on the same topic. And we have a block up here called Navigate Gallery. And if I click this photo, takes me to the next photo in the gallery. And if I click this photo, it takes me back to the previous photo in the gallery. It works, but it does have three significant problems. The biggest one is that on a mobile phone screen, which is much narrower, this block here gets pushed right down to the bottom below the text and any comments. And it's essentially out of sight as far as a mobile user is concerned. So they find it very difficult to navigate through the gallery. If you're a new visitor to the website, also you're looking at the photo here, it's not immediately obvious that this is the way to see more pictures from the gallery. We can do a better job of that. And then finally, well, there are lots of photos on the website which aren't in any gallery at all, but it would still be great if we had a way to show people other related pictures and let them explore the website in an easy way. So let's switch over to the new page again and see what's different. If you keep an eye on the photo, I'm going to hit the F5 key and refresh the page. And hopefully, just for a moment there, you saw four little blue arrows. You do it again. Four little blue arrows around the edge of the photo. So now we can move through the gallery by clicking on the edge of the photo itself. So I click here, I go to the next photo, I click here, I go to the previous photo. That should make life for mobile users a lot easier then. It's all taken care of on the one screen. You don't have to go searching down the bottom of the page. And to be honest, it's an area where we've fallen behind the times. If you look at a person using their mobile phone, if they see a picture, they naturally expect it to do something. You'll see them try and swipe it or tap it and just expecting something to happen. So we're kind of catching up with things a bit there. The next task is to make it easier for new visitors to recognize how this works. And I'm hoping that the little flash of the blue arrows is enough to give them a clue. I did start off with just leaving the arrows on display, but I think that's going to get irritating because it's going to cover up parts of the photo. So I've decided instead we'll flash them there for a second, fade them away, and then as you move your mouse over the photo, they reappear to tell you what the options are. The last point was, well, what if we don't have any gallery at all? If you remember in an earlier update video, I said we've changed things to give every photo a date, even if that date is simply date unknown. Everything's got some sort of value in that date field. And we can make use of that. So the other arrows are at the top and the bottom of the photo, and they take us to the older or newer photo by date. So you can see this one is in a different gallery altogether, 1940s Hong Kong. 1940s Hong Kong. And we can just keep working through them using these arrows here. We still have the option with the gallery too if we need. So I keep my fingers crossed that these improvements will make it easier to explore the site. It should, I hope, encourage new visitors to stay longer and perhaps get to the point of wanting to get involved. I think there's an advantage for regular contributors too. If I find the easier it is to see related content, sort of similar but slightly different, often stirs up ideas of new connections between content that I hadn't thought of before. And I hope you'll find the same for that. Next week then I'll be working on the different types of pages we have for people, places, etc. It's going through, making sure they look right, making sure editing works properly, clicking on all the different tags takes us to sensible pages, all the kind of just the nitty-gritty of making it easy to use. So I'll be back with an update next week to let you know how we got on.